News for people who can't stand the news. Jasmine Richards is a founder of Black Lives Matter in Pasadena, California, a chapter of it. It's an organization with many chapters. Okay? A court ruling in Pasadena, California last week set an unsettling precedent in the movement for Black Lives fight against police brutality. Now, activist Jasmine Richards, a 28-year-old Black woman, founder of that Black Lives Matter chapter, was convicted of felony lynching. Now, the penal code, according to California, describes felony lynching as this: the taking by means of a riot of another person from the unlawful custody of a peace officer. Sentencing will be June 7th. On August 29, 2015, police responded to a 911 call after an altercation at a local park. The owner of a restaurant near the park told police an unidentified young Black woman allegedly did not pay for her meal. Black Lives Matter supporters, including Richards, were already at the park. During a peaceful protest or after a peaceful protest earlier that day for Kendrick McDade, a 19-year-old unarmed Black teenager who was killed by Pasadena police in 2012. Video of the incident shows Black Lives Matter supporters, including Richards, run to the woman's side as police officers attempted to arrest her. Richards was arrested 2 days later for trying to physically pull the woman away from police. Richards is not the first protester to be charged with lynching. Maylee Hampton, a 20-year-old Black woman, was arrested for lynching during a rally against police brutality in Sacramento in April 2015. Occupy Oakland activists Tiffany Tran and Alex Brown were charged in 2011, blah, 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 blah. But in other cases, the charges were later dropped. Richards is the first African-American convicted of lynching in the United States. And it's causing quite a disturbance, as you can imagine. Clearly, this is a political prosecution. That's what Richards' attorney, Nana Gyamfi. Nana Gyamfi. Okay? And then Miss Gyamfi goes into the history behind lynching and the significance for anyone, any of you millennials who are not too familiar with lynching, technically what it was. It typically refers to a violent Jim Crow era tactic used to terrorize Black communities. However, the language of California's penal code does not speak to the history of racial violence specifically. It's one of the reasons Governor Jerry Brown removed the term from the state's criminal code in 2015 following Hampton's arrest. So Governor Jerry Brown, who recently endorsed Hillary Clinton, that same governor of California, he changed the language of the word lynching of the law, or the criminal code, the penal code, to remove any type of racial aspect from the code language. So thank him for that, along with endorsing Hillary Clinton, whose husband told her he wasn't good enough to share the stage with her. It's always interesting. It's just the way he just put away his pride like that. It's very interesting. Used to be a champion of the people, now sells the people out. Okay, so look, guys, this case with Jasmine Richards obviously does not reflect the true nature of what lynching was originally described as. And before you say, well, white people have been lynched, that's true. But not at the rate of Black people. And yeah, that wasn't really the problem, right? Right? Like that made this become a law. Well, yeah. All right, so yeah, I know. But here's the thing. We all can agree that if there's a group of people who have just finished a protest and they see a young woman being jumped on by a couple of cops and they go to try to pull the woman from the cops, they do not brutalize the cops. They're just pulling the woman away. They're unsuccessful. That's a little bit different than actually like taking somebody to go lynch them. I mean, that's really what it was. I mean, at the worst, this should be obstruction of justice, right? Like, you're in the way. That's it. You're trying to stop what you feel is, and what you assume is unlawful arrest or something like that, and you're getting in the way of a policeman doing their duty. I could see that all day, and if I did that, I'd be like, look, I did that. I tried to stop her from arresting her. That's all I tried to do. I tried to aid her running away. I was trying to obstruct justice being performed at that moment. But was I going to take this woman and lynch her? See, lynching is what happens after you take the person. You're taking them to go lynch them. Right? All right, so that's what people are upset about. So when you hear this story on social media, you will be armed with the truth. That's all I want you to have is the truth, the facts, and this side of the argument. Before we get into the weeds of this Black Lives Matter and this, and that's what they do, and this is what they get, and all this other stuff that's being spun by the media. Right? When I say media, I mean corporate media, because I'm media, Jimmy Dore's media, H.A. Goodman's media. Not all media is bad media, but I want to make that point very, very clear to everyone. Not all media is bad media. I'm considered media. I'm not bad. I'm not a sellout. I'm not corrupt. I'm not a corporatist. Same thing goes for my friends. All right. But I just want to make sure we got that clear. So now, how do we end this? How can I put a bow on this for you? Well, they talk about here about the interference, right? They talk about the makeup of the jury being no African Americans on the jury. Though Pasadena is 13.4% African American, you couldn't find any African Americans actually sit on the jury. And there might be some racial aspects to it, they say. I think it's just the wrong charge all the way around. But remember, guys, they got a conviction. It's not a charge. They convicted her of lynching. This is America, guys. This is America, yo. This is what we do. This is what we do. This is what we do. All right, guys, that's the show. Just remember to catch us Monday through Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time for Tim Black's Progressive Day and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Tim Black at Night. If you want to support independent media, this is where you do it at timstake2@gmail.com. We give you news for people who can't stand the news. See you next time.